Hey everybody, it's Coach. I'm back with another video. And what I'm talking about today is how to avoid potholes or how to navigate potholes on the road when you're out here driving, right? So one of the problems that people have when it comes to recognizing a pothole is they're not following their trail, looking down on the ground as they're driving. It's very important because if you hit something that's on the ground, it can disable your car. It can blow your tire out. It could, damage your front end or something like that. And potholes, in St. Louis have a tendency to be pretty big. So anyway, I want to give you a couple of tips about how to navigate potholes. So it's only really two ways to navigate a pothole. Either you have to avoid it or you have to go through it. If you're going to hit it, you got to go through it slow. But in order for you to do either one of those two, you have to recognize that you're approaching a pothole. So how do I recognize I'm approaching a pothole? When I'm looking down, I'm scanning, I'm looking down in front of my car, and then I'm scanning ahead to kind of follow my path and see where I'm supposed to be driving. I'll look all the way up there, and then when I notice some dark spots on the street, let's go. And when I noticed dark spots on the street, I said, well, that could be a pothole. So I got to pay attention to that as I'm approaching it. Now, when I say straddle a pothole and you could go across the pothole without slowing down or whatever, that means it has to be in between your wheels. It has to be in between your wheels. And because up under the car, you got your tires on both sides, right? And then in the middle of the car, you have about a 12-inch clearance or something like that. You have maybe a foot, and some cars might sit up a foot high. So if you go over the pothole and it's in the middle of the car, it's not going to hit it, neither is it going to damage anything. So that's one thing when we talk about just straddling a pothole. The other thing is avoiding a pothole. Now, when you avoid a pothole, you got to be very careful, because if you shift your car from left to right too fast, or you want to make sure that if you're moving to the left to avoid it or you're moving to the right to avoid it, you want to make sure that you at least nobody's on the side of your car. Okay, so that's the other way you could do it. So those are the two things that I would give you, the two pieces of advice as far as navigating the pothole. Keep straight. Navigating potholes, avoiding potholes, straddling a pothole. That's pretty much all you can do with these potholes, okay? The other thing is you want to adjust your speed. Now, that part is something that you need to pay attention to also, because when it's a no-brainer, guys. Look, if the street is raggedy, right, you probably need to slow down. You don't want to just be driving your car just because the speed limit is 35 miles an hour and the doggone street is all chopped up. You don't want to be just driving 35 miles an hour, because first of all, that's the limit. That's not actually what speed you're supposed to be driving. That's your limit. That means you can't go over that 35 miles per hour. So you have to think about that also. But when the road gets rough and the going gets tough, slow down. All right, that's my tip for the day. Thank you.